All right, this is a review of this black ceiling fan that we picked up and just installed. So it comes with this remote, and right now I have the light on and it's on full, full speed, but or full brightness, but you can dim it if it's too bright. There's quite a few dimming settings. I think we're at the bottom of it. If you press the light again, it turns off, but there is a warm and a cool setting. So the cool setting is on right now, then it goes off. Then the cool setting is still on. We can't really figure out how to get to the warm setting. There's the warm setting. So I don't know, you have to kind of cycle through. I thought it would go cold, warm, off, or something like that, but it doesn't seem to work that way. Okay, so anyway, so there are, as you see on the remote, 6 speeds for the fan. We found that 1 through 4 will probably be sufficient. So I'll go through each fan speed. I'm gonna actually turn the light up a little bit too, because it's just a little bit too dark in here. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 levels of brightness is what it looks like. All right, so here's fan speed 1. All right, that gives you actually a pretty nice breeze just on 1 already. Fairly quiet. And this is a pretty small room, about 12 to 15 feet by maybe 10 to 12 feet, something like that. So, okay, that's speed 1. This is 2. I wish it would kind of beep too. Maybe I need to look at the manual. Sometimes I forget to do that. But, okay, now I'm going to press 3. Again, a little faster. I mean, I'm getting a nice breeze, so it's very good. Now, we do have a bunk bed here, and so we do tell our grandson not to turn the fan on or sit up in bed if he's on the upper bunk, but normally he sleeps on the lower bunk for most of the time. So otherwise, yeah, because that's a little bit hazardous the way the room is set up. And anyway, so then here's 5. And now you're going to see it's kind of making a noise because it obviously needs to be balanced better, I would think. So we may have to look into that. And then here's 6. And really, it's just so fast and so much wind is being produced. It's almost unnecessary to be on 5 or 6. So 1 through 4 is pretty good. We will take a look at it and see if we can balance it and not make it have that really annoying noise. So I'll kick it back down to 3. And another nice feature on the remote is it has a 1 hour, a 3 hour, and a 6 hour timer. So you can run this for an hour before you go to sleep or whatever, and then it would all shut off. So that's kind of nice. If you were going to bed and you just wanted the fan on for, say, 3 hours, then you would just manually turn the light off. But I also wanted to show you when you stop the fan by pressing the power button in the middle here, it stops fairly quickly. I'm on speed 3, and let's take a look how fast this stops. I think that's pretty impressive because I have ceiling fans that will go for probably 30, 45 seconds before they eventually stop. So overall, it's really nice. These are LEDs inside of here. We're on the bright white setting on the highest setting, which I believe is the 8th click I did. So overall, it's nice. I'll turn down the setting a little bit and see if I can get a little close up here of the actual. It's still hard to see with that light, but you can kind of see what it looks like on the ceiling there. And then this remote comes with a little thing here that you can put the remote into carefully, because if you don't put it in carefully, you might drop it on the floor like I did earlier. So anyway, the whole thing popped open when I dropped it, and I thought, oh no, I think I broke it. The circuit board came out and everything. I was like, oh no, but it went all back together quite easily. So I think the remote could have been a little bit better designed, but you know, I like the functionality of it. It just maybe the holder could have been a little better designed, because I tried to stick it in, it just went bloop onto the floor. So be careful when putting that in. Otherwise, we've only had it for, you know, had it installed for about 2 hours, so I can't speak to the longevity, but it looks nice in the room. It does a good job. There's 3 different light settings, or 8 different brightness settings, 2 different colors, a warm color and a bright white color, and yeah, and 6 fan speeds. So that's pretty cool.
Hey, we got a new ceiling fan. It's the Regair, however you say it, 42-inch ceiling fan for our spare bedroom. There it is, right up there. Looks pretty good. Nice update to the old school fan that was in here. Again, it's a smaller room, so we went with the smaller fan, the 42-inch. You can get other sizes. There's some things we like and some things that we don't like about this fan. Let me start by grabbing the old remote control. Pretty straightforward remote. You can kind of figure out the controls there. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. But let's go ahead and turn on the light. There's that button. You do get 3 colors. This is kind of the medium color, neutral, like 4000 Kelvin, whatever it is. But if you turn it on and off, you can see you can cycle through different color temperatures. I just happen to like this one. And then for the fan, you get 6 speeds. Don't know why. Why 6 speeds? I know the old ones had 3. That seemed fine. 6? Honestly, I don't see a huge difference between like 1 and 2 or 5 and 6. So maybe 4 speeds is enough. But let's go ahead and kick it up to 3. And I have it in winter mode, so it's going backwards there. But gives you an idea how fast it's going. I'll turn the light off just so you can see it a little better. And you can hear how noisy it is. See, it's nice. It's not very loud. That's a good speed for me. And I don't know that I need to go to 6. We'll go ahead and turn the fan off with the power button right there. And then you have the reverse button here, so you can switch between summer and winter modes. Light dims, a couple of dim buttons there, and then timer for your fan as well. So that's all great. Some of the things we don't necessarily love. One of those is, here, let me stop this, and you can kind of see, I think there's a good example. See how those fan blades don't quite line up? Now, that's really nitpicky. I think that's the worst one right there. But, you know, that's what you get with a budget item. And then the other one is those screws that are visible. Don't love that. I'd like those not to be visible so that it would be a little bit cleaner install. And then my biggest complaint really is this. In our house, maybe your house too, the builder was nice enough to give us 2 switches, one for the fan, one for the light. So now I have to put in a blank on this outlet, which I don't love because I can only use 1 switch because it's new and it wants to use this remote. So everything's controlled by this 1 switch. That leads to the second thing that's kind of a bummer, and that is I want the switch to be workable. See, it turns off the light. So if I have a guest come into this room, I want them to be able to just kind of flip that switch and turn the light on without having to look for the remote. But the relay on this fan is so slow. Watch how long it takes for the light to come on. There it goes. Wow, that is forever. We'll do it one more time. This time you can look. And on. Whew, that takes a long time. So that right there is kind of the biggest deal breaker for me, is how long it takes to use that switch when you walk into the room. Because I'm not going to keep a remote here because this is not handy. Let me find the button for the light. This is how it should work, but it's just so darn slow. So that's really my biggest complaint is that right there. Otherwise, pretty sharp looking fan. You know, it's got its quirks, but overall, it's a decent little product. So there you go. The Regair or Regair ceiling fan, 42-inch.
So here it is. It's a big, modern, beautiful fan. This is my living room. It's a pretty large room. The fan fits great. Takes up, enough of a space on the ceiling that it looks appropriately sized, and maybe even a bit large, which I kind of want it. So you have a remote control like a lot of these modern fans do. Light, so that's the brightest, and it does dim. So not rocket science here, but you can see the light dimming. The fan has 6 speeds, so this is the fastest. I'm not gonna go on and off with the speed. You guys get the idea, that's the fastest. And it's a nice breeze. You may be able to hear on the video. There is a night mode for the light. So if you turn it off then on, this is kind of like a night light mode. And you can see, there it is. So it's a little bit warmer, a little bit less bright. Turn it back off and back on, and you get the regular light. So you don't have to have a special switch to do that. You turn it on and off twice, and you get to the night mode, and then on and off again, and it's back to normal. The directions were okay to install it. I mean, it's a ceiling fan. If you've done this before, the installation was pretty standard. You'd probably need 2 people to do this. I had a helper, and it made it a lot easier. You may be able to do it yourself, but you're gonna struggle at various parts. You are able to hang the base of it before you put the blades on, and so that does make it slightly easier whenever you're actually kind of getting to the end of the installation, that you don't have to hold the whole fan up there. The remote control is standard, but it's a nice responsive remote control, and the fan is really nice. I think look at your room before you buy it. It's a large fan, 52 inches from tip to tip, and the light is bright. It's the brightest light that I've had on a fan in this room. So the room looks much brighter than it did with the previous fan that I had, which was the same blade length, but had a smaller light. So the light is, big and beautiful. It's a nice fan. It looks modern, high quality, and pretty high end. So 5 stars for sure.